Hello and welcome to the training video where we're going to be looking at the Management Console. To access the Management Console, log in to your digital signage solution. Once you've been directed to the home page, move to the right hand side and click on your name. Then scroll down until you get to Admin. Click on Admin. It will then ask you to sign in for a second time. Once you're signed in, you'll be directed to the Admin homepage. From here, we can see things such as our storage, the total amount of storage allocated to us, how much is used, and how much is available. If you need more storage, simply click on Expand Storage. We can do the same with licenses. We can see the total amount of licenses, the amount of licenses used, and the amount available. On the right-hand side is our administration log. This will tell us when a user has had their info updated or a new user has been created. If I move over to the left-hand side, you'll see that we've got 5 different sections. If I click onto Accounts, this is where our clients will sit. So each new client that has bought digital signage from you, you can set up their own account. To do this, simply move to the right-hand side and click New Account. You can then give it a name. Move down, choose who's going to be the main administrator, and then click Add. We've now assigned Joe Blogs to manage this account. If I now move down and click onto Next, it will ask me to choose the maximum upload per file, how much storage I want to allocate to them. I can start the license count, how many licenses we're going to allocate to this account, and what day they're due to start. We can even put an expiry date. Once completed, click Next, add in your billing information, and click Create. If I just come out of this account and we move over to the left-hand side, we can look at adding new users. If I click onto Users, I can then move over to the right-hand side and click New User. I can now add their name. I can then add their email address. We can then add in their login name. You can, if you wish to, add a phone number and the country they reside in. Once those 3 first lines are filled in, you can simply click on Next. From here, we can choose what permissions they have been granted. We can choose for them to be able to create screens, delete screens, creatives and playlists, allow them to set screen content, as well as delete devices. Once you have set the permissions to how you would like them, move down and click on Add Event. There are 2 events we would recommend you add to all users. To do so, simply click in the search bar, and the first event would be Touch. This will enable them to be able to use the Touch widget. Once it's ticked, click on the Add button and then click it a second time. The second event will be the Empty event. The Empty event will allow them to be able to create a creative, and then when they go to publish it, they can add it as an empty event. This will mean that if ever there's a gap within their schedule, this creative would then fill the slot for them. This means that the screen will never have black content. Once you've added them, simply move down and click Next. I can now choose to either send the email for them to reset it, or I can set the password up for them and then send it to them. Once you finish, click Create. If I now move over to the left-hand side, I can click on Profiles. We can create profiles which will have set standards for them. If we create a new one by clicking on the New Profile, and I'm going to call this one Training Video 2, click Create. I can now decide to add a template. If I click on Add Template, we can then choose from a pre-made template. So for example, if I want them to only be able to use Lobby Company Productions and maybe this menu, I can simply add them. When they log in and then click New Creative, these are the only two that they will see. If I click on Initial Creatives, we can add creatives to get them started. Again, it may be that they only want to use certain creatives, so the management can create them and you can then add them automatically to every new user. From here, we can click on Media Library. If I click on Add Media, we can pre-upload certain assets of images and videos to their media center. Simply find the image you would like to add and then click the plus symbol. It will then populate in the media library. If I now click onto widget links, we can add some default content for them. For example, if you add a YouTube video onto your canvas, it will automatically populate with an address. Here we can choose which address that is. We can also give them multiple options. To do so, simply click on the Add link, give it a name, then simply paste the URL and then click Add. Now when a user logs in and then adds a YouTube widget, it will automatically default to this video. You can add multiple videos that they will then be able to choose from the drop down menu. You can do this not only for YouTube but for media RSS as well as RSSs. Last column on here is accounts. If I click onto accounts, we can then click add an account and we can now choose people's accounts that have already been created. So they will then be able to log in and see all of the details. If I now move over to the left hand side and click on utilities, we can choose a plan. On a plan, we can say which widgets you can have with each plan. For example, if it was the business plan, I can simply click on the business plan and then I can say, well, maybe I don't want people to be able to stream video, so I can come down and make sure it's unticked. Or I can tick it and then click Save Changes. Then anyone that has been set up on that tariff will automatically be able to get streaming or be denied it, depending on the settings you have created. If I now move over and click on to the last one, Solutions, here is where you can set up advertising your company and additional services to your clients. I hope you've enjoyed watching this training video on the Management Console.